Details make champions, and little things make big things. Two of the biggest sayings that make the air raid work. Stay tuned.
Light 72. Light 72.
Coaches, welcome back to the 92 Meshgroup channel, your home on YouTube for the air raid offense. This is Coach George Coulthard coming to you from North Carolina. And tonight we're going to talk a little bit about little things that make big things. Hey, listen, if you want to learn more about the air raid offense and you like these videos, we'd really appreciate it if you join the community. Hit subscribe down there and the little bell so you know that we're going to go live. Really excited about the off season coming up and the videos that we're planning on doing and just collaborating with the community and doing some things. We'd love for you to join. Hey, look, right now we're about 20 away from 2,000, and when we hit 2,000, we got a special prize for everyone. So hopefully you guys will subscribe and share and like, and we can get there and grow the community and keep doing the things that we've been doing. So today's video is going to be a little different. We're going to talk about something that's really little, but it's really big. And we're going to talk about stance and alignment. Because one of the things that I saw today on Facebook, guys were peddling, playbooks. Hey, anybody got a playbook for this? Anybody got a playbook for that? I mean, we have a playbook on our site as well, and you're more than welcome to pick that up. And if you use the code The Rock, you get it half price right now. But the playbook is only a little bit of what goes on in the air raid offense. I mean, knowing what the plays are is really kind of like way down on the totem pole of what's important. What's important is the little things, the process, understanding that the offense is rep driven and that little things do make big things, and that if you'll concentrate on the little things, you have big things coming. And shout out to you guys who've been sending me messages talking about how you've put into some air raid concepts and your year flipped and you guys have done really good. I'm really excited about that. It makes me feel great because I know I put a lot of time and effort into this, and really it's just to grow the community because somebody taught me and it helped me become successful as well. So let's talk about stance first of all. Stance is so important. A lot of people have a different, opinion on what you should do with this and that and the other. And I'm pretty static on how I feel about stances. And here's what I do. I tell my inside receivers, that being H and Y, to have their inside foot back, and their outside receivers, X and Z, to have their outside foot back. And there's a lot of reasons why. But if you'll look right here, let's say this is H. And if his inside foot is back and we call shallow, now his first step with that inside foot can actually be at the foot of this defensive tackle. Okay? And so it's not going to carry him up the field. Now, if his feet were reversed, his first step would be with that backside foot. And now you see how that 1.5 yard difference can help him get redirected by linebackers and things like that. So that's one of the biggest reasons why we have our inside foot back on that deal, is so that our first step can be flat and attack the feet of the defensive end. We're running shallow. And I tell you right now, I'll put a little card in the video on this one here, but my favorite third down play is shallow. Shallow is such a great play. And one of those things is you make sure you hit those landmarks and doing those things. Also, it gives you that, on that fifth step, you can run that post, you can run that corner route, especially on 8 calls if you're running from the other side. So because of the shallow, because of those things, and think about it like this, if we're running screen, now all he has to do is throw his outside shoulder and he's flat, just like he was pulling as an offensive lineman. And so, that inside foot is back, and it was just something that's the way I was taught, by Coach Mummy and those guys. And you'd be surprised, like when you talk to Coach Mummy and Coach Leach and those guys, when they talk to you about air raid, nothing happens by accident. They will tell you when you run stick is ran at 4 yards, not 5, not 6, not 3. They say, yo, it's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sit down at 4. And they're like, we played around with it forever. And they're very specific. So none of this stuff is on accident. So, look, you can try to make it your own, but I'm telling you, a lot of the stuff that we teach and that I've learned and I try to share with you guys are things that are time tested. So, that idea of having that stance with that inside foot back. And then if you're on the outside, if you have that outside foot back, so many of the routes are must outside release. So many of the routes are must outside release. And if you're going to run screens, outside release, sell in that vert. You know, sell that vert. I tell my kids all the time, make him think you're going to turn him. As soon as you get his hips turned, plant, come back downhill, and let's run that screen. And that's some good stuff there. The second little thing that's kind of a big thing is alignment. And listen, if you're not like putting at least hash marks on your practice field, you need to start. Now, I tell you, I wasn't a big proponent of this until I became an air raid guy. And the last guy I worked with, he was so, you know, so meticulous about marking the practice field. That's one of those things that I really enjoyed. But, you know, having the hash and having the numbers is really, really important, because your receivers have to understand. I mean, listen, if you're running 6 calls, your X has no business being outside the numbers. He needs to understand to get at the top of the numbers. Okay, give himself a chance to work outside. And you know, what we tell him is, if you're working outside, line up inside. If you're working inside, line up outside. But those little bitty things make such big difference when you're talking about grass and windows. You know, think about it like this. If we're running like slants, and if you ever get a chance, check out my buddy Coach Joe Salas. He has a YouTube channel. He talks about his favorite pass play is slants. And I don't know anybody that teaches it pretty much better than him. But, you know, he talks about, you know, finding that window. You know, there's the first window and then there's a second window kind of deal. You know, if it's man coverage, keep traveling. If not, find that grass and sit down. And that a little bit of alignment can make the difference between a completion and an incomplete. So you need to understand, as you start teaching these things and as you're getting into your off-season study, guys, listen, it's not about the playbook. Okay, the playbook is important, but the playbook is very, very small. All right, you watch Oklahoma, those guys, they're running 37 different formations and motions and all this other stuff, but the plays are the same. You know, they're going to run counter, they're going to run power read, they're going to run smash, you know, they're going to run, you know, mesh, shallow, whatever it is, but it's very, very small. So the playbook is important, don't get me wrong, but this offense is rep driven, and most importantly, if you don't learn anything, you have to understand this concept that little things make big things. Hey, listen, I appreciate you guys tuning into the channel tonight. It's really, really excited. Like I said, we're almost at 2,000 subscribers. I can't wait. Also, as we move into the off season, check out the job board on the website, 92meshgroup.com. If you haven't looked at it, my boys Appalachian State are 7-0, so we're going to keep the Yosef sale going on. Use the code Yosef for the total air raid system. You'll get it for $50. And as always, spin it to win.
Fight 72. Fight 72.